We're back with Songtradr Happy Hour, and our guests are Billy Mann and Benton James from Proof of Concept. Okay, some community questions for you. We asked what they would like to ask you. So Divi Pray Music has asked, how do I get to make my song trend on TikTok?
There are several answers to that question.
That's anybody that tells you that they know the answer to that question is not being honest with you. First of all, your song has to be fucking amazing. So start there. I think the best way is to be consistent, to be yourself, and to not get hard on yourself if it takes time to build a following. And you don't have to do like one post and then you have a magic post and then everything is perfect. But I think, like I would say this about most things. If I want to know what kids are thinking, I don't ask my grandparents or somebody of a certain age. I ask kids. If I want to know how people can engage and penetrate a TikTok, there are so many creators on TikTok giving advice and tips that are really good and giving it away for free. That my first response, by the way, to anybody watching this podcast or not watching this podcast about anything is first Google it. If you haven't first Googled the question that you're asking, whether it's what is this rash on my hand, or how do I make something trend on TikTok, or I need to curl my hair, or is the fact that my mustache is blue mean anything weird? Like if you Google it first before you even, and by the way, there's danger in that too, because if I have something wrong with me physically and I start Googling, for sure I'm going to die in the next hour. But for other people, I think that's probably if you want to know what I'm not interested in being a part of is if an artist or a writer or a producer comes to the table with a question that potentially could be answered if they just Googled it. If they just went on their search engine and distilled a lot of information, not because everything that comes up is going to be the right answer, because that should be the first stop. And if that's not the first stop, honestly, it's not something that I would want to get involved with.
So last year during pandemic, Kato on the track was convinced by myself and one of our other teammates, Jack Kaplan, to start posting on TikTok. And so he starts posting on TikTok, and around Christmas, he posts a beat, just a beat, duet to this, creators post it. A young woman by the name of Raekwon Maria in Australia, who just got on the app, goes on TikTok and writes a little freestyle to this beat. And this song takes off like a rocket. And I remember before Christmas talking to Kato, and he was like, man, this young lady from Australia did this thing. It looks like, it could be something. And then 3 weeks later, literally, I am on calls every day with Australia trying to complete a deal, and labels are calling us, and I would love to be able to tell you that I knew exactly how this happened and we had this special sauce, but the reality is he just put it up. You know what I mean? And there's like I've told Billy, it's a litany of answers to that. Is it a hip hop song? Is it a country song? Is it a ballad? Is it, there's just there's no button to push on any of it. And it's like, and it's like everyone always wants to know, like, Billy, how do I write a hit song? Like, Benton, what's the secret to this? And it's like, I'll be honest with you, there's 1,000 different ways depending on the artist and the time of year and the music gods and people's budgets. It's like, there really is no telling, but I can tell people it's like, try and fail. Like that's the only real advice. And I feel badly because I know someone is like really looking for some like mind altering thing. But the truth is that Billy and I both know there's a kid, I think he's got red hair. He's on YouTube, and he spent days with the algorithms on TikTok and like lays out times of days to post and all these other things. And I'm sure people have watched that. I'm sure the algorithms changed since he posted it. So I really feel badly not being able to answer that question for you, but I am not one to pretend that I have the magic potion. I can only tell people to try and fail. You know what I mean? Like that sounds terrible, but it's happy hour and you'll get the truth from me.
I love it. It's a great answer. Next question. Delinzo wants to know, how can I become a partner? Need to distribute my songs.
We're available on social media. We have a record label with Warner Music Group, ADA. We did a global deal. The label's called Icons+Giants. And like, I think people underestimate how accessible people are. Mind you, we'll get a lot of volume of people messaging in. So can't say we see everything, but we try to look at everything. So that's one way to contact us, and would be to start with Icons+Giants, at least on the artist side.
Great. Okay. A couple more. Lindsay Hill wants to know, how has TikTok changed the music industry, and how do you see it continuing to change the industry in the future?
I mean, I will say one way I think, and this might sound bad, but I think there's a way it's changed the industry. And one of the ways is that there are a lot of people who are trying to catch lightning in the bottle on TikTok. And I think because we were all stuck in pandemic and everybody was trying to execute on that app specifically to try to go viral and then get seen, it feels like it's been a bit anemic to an overall artist growth and more about trying to catch that moment. And I feel like for a lot of us on the music industry side, as we kind of hunt through it and do the research and find things, you get some of these moments, but you don't get very developed artists. And so that's been a challenge, because you might really want a song that you feel like has so much potential, but the human that's created the song is like not really, they have to play catch up from an artist perspective to where the song went to, and that's a challenge. And so, like, in a way, I kind of feel like it's made the artist space anemic and the single or the song space like really full of sounds and stuff that have gained traction and things of that nature. So I think it'll obviously continue to change, but the most exciting part is what it looks like when the world opens back up for everyone, and you know, performances and like all of these other things. And hopefully that, to me, that leads to this growth in the artist side, as well as some of the moments that are created.
I want to know when you start hugging people. Like, you know, when you go out, it's like all this fist pumping and stuff. Like, who's going to take the first hug? I'm a little scared.
Yeah.
I'd hug openly. Now, I tell everyone I got vaccinated 3 times just to make sure. So I have anyone. you
need a medal.
You can get partially vaccinated just from physical contact. You know. So.
All right. Last question is from Jake Rodriguez. What are some of your favorite TikTok campaigns?
I mean, I really we worked across a few. I think the one that we won a Webby. We did with an Airy campaign, which was really fun. But the one that I love is the one we did with Jasmine Benton, because the message of it was called We Win Together. It was a hashtag We Win Together on TikTok. And we partnered with Gray Advertising as one of our clients, and they represent a lot of huge brands. And we had to put together the music around the initiative. This was done really in the heart of before the election, the last presidential election, where things were really divided and people were. It's been such a polarizing state of things around the world, but especially here. And the idea that we had this win together moment, it really wasn't meant to be for a single candidate or a single party, but it was much more of a huggable moment on TikTok. And then Benton, you want to pick it up, was just trying to find the right music and the right artists and everything. It was really meaningful.
It was meaningful. And I think like so many other things we did, part of what made it special was working with jazz. Billy and I got an opportunity to meet Anthony Ramos some years ago as Hamilton was just starting to have a moment, and we had been in touch, and the opportunity arose for the tune, and we reached out, and she was available. I reached out to him, he pointed us to her, she was available, things and started to work out, and we've always had a really good relationship with Anthony, and then with jazz, and Kato was a part of that as well, and so I don't know, there's something to be said about like really cool synergies with people, and again, we love working with people that we like, because the music industry is hard enough, and there was a lot of Kato's a special producer, jazz special singer, and things really came together quickly there. So it was a real special moment, especially to work with jazz and do something like that was really cool.
I'm looking at the hashtag we went together, and on something, and Derek Huff did well, there was a lot of people did it, but it's 9.9 billion views on something that really was just like a very positive moment. It's something that we could provide music for. It was a way that songwriters and producers that we know could work, like Kato, and also do something that takes this platform out for a spin for something good. And I think that that's what I'm really looking forward to seeing in the future. And right now, Benton and I we're in the middle of working on an activation called Songhouse Live. It's another way that we're trying to provide different platforms for artists who are on TikTok or on social media, and trying to give them a little bit more of a running start on things. And we're really, that's a lot of our focus. It's like, how do we invent solutions, and how do we find new pathways for artists and writers, and not be dependent on anything traditional. And I think it's going to be interesting to see what the landscape looks like today and what it's going to look like in 5 years from now is going to be really different, including TikTok, including streaming, including social media and podcasting. I think that's the fun of it. I'm very also grateful I get to do this with Benton. I learn so much from him every day, and it's just a nice feeling when you actually enjoy the company of the person that you're collaborating with, the artists we work with, the people on our team, and one another. It's awesome. And I think the diversity of our team is, I said it before, it's one of our key superpowers.